How do wars end? Is there sort of a myth that one side wins 100% and the other side surrenders unconditionally?
No, not always. And the record shows that most wars will end with a negotiated settlement, uh, primarily driven because both sides are exhausted or they don't see any way out that they can win. Uh, a smaller number are settled through unconditional surrender, as we saw at the end of World War II, uh, as we saw at the end of the American Civil War. Uh, Note that World War I was not really an unconditional surrender, even though portrayed as such. It was really a negotiated settlement, and Germany negotiated badly on its behalf. And then there's always sort of the stalemate option that nobody can go anywhere. So my point was in assessing what's going on right now in Ukraine, I think we're headed towards this will be one of those rare unconditional surrender moments because Ukraine has no ability to be able to force a negotiated settlement. Or if it accepts a negotiated settlement, it's going to mean that it's going to do a complete 180 on all of the things that it insists are essential, non-negotiable items.
If this is an unconditional surrender, we have a lot of issues. You, Colonel McGregor, Scott Ritter, Ray McGovern, and our usual cadre have said the last thing Putin wants is to have to govern Ukraine. What would replace Zelensky that the Ukrainians can live with and Putin will accept, if not a Russian installed government?
Well, one option I lay out as a possibility is a parallel with what happened at the end of the Civil War. The political leadership of the Confederacy had basically collapsed. They were still being defiant, insisting they were going to continue fighting. But General Robert E. Lee recognized that while some of his troops had the desire to continue fighting, they simply did not have the means, both through logistics, ammunition, weaponry. And so he surrendered. And it was an unconditional surrender. That Grant did provide some concessions, but they were not significant. So I think what you're looking at in Ukraine is the generals finally intervening at some point, saying, look, this slaughter of our troops is going to stop. We cannot continue to lose like this. And Zelensky will be irrelevant because Zelensky is a puppet in all of this anyway. He's not the political force. He simply represents the powerful money that's behind him, people like Kolomoisky. So he's not in a position to call the shots. Zaluzhny or Sursky, two of the generals, they don't necessarily get along, but one of them or some other generals we've not heard of, at least in public, could step forward and force a settlement with Russia.